All right. Looks like we are starting, like, literally now. How is everyone doing? We'll officially get started in about, like, 5 minutes. You guys are in for a real treat tonight's episode. Let's take a look here. Let's see who we got in the chat right now. So we got Brewer, my man. What's going on? Darktree, what's going on? Jesse Chavez, how you guys doing? How is everyone doing? Jed Rippy, how you doing? Let's go. That's right. Let's absolutely go. Definitely, maybe. Good. You? How are you guys doing? Let me know also, too, if the audio and the video is coming in nice and clean. Again, want to make sure that we got no problems. Wheeling and dealing. What's going on, bruh? Jellybean went rogue. How you doing? Chan Kim, hey, what's going on yourself? No. So the best way to go ahead and reach out right now, because our lines do get pretty busy, go ahead and contact us via Instagram, Discord, or even on our, Instagram, Facebook, or Discord server. We can definitely go ahead and help you to get taken of there. We do try to return back every single call, but we do get quite a bit of calls, actually. So best route moving forward would be to go ahead and directly message us on any of those platforms, and we can help you out, bro. Stitch, how you doing, my man? Joseph Oxbox, it's good. All right, cool. The Smithsism, what's up? What's going on, man? How you doing yourself? So we got a pretty good crowd going on right now. Yeah, we'll officially get started in about like 3 more minutes. I'll go ahead and give my guests for today a call. That's right, I actually do have a guest this time around. Excuse me while I eat my Chinese food. See here. Coop, what's going on, bro? I think, Coop, you messaged me earlier today, or I think I got back to your message. You were asking about a plate carriers, right? I remember responding back to that question. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. Caleb Holmes, I definitely got some good recommendations. However, we haven't officially started yet. The way this one's going to work out, I'm going to go ahead and do the... I'll explain it later when we officially start in like 3 more minutes, but I will definitely be getting to your questions, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's move that over. All right. Okay, looks like Bossman already wants to go ahead and give us a call. Give us 1 second. Bossman wants to go ahead and chime in real quick. Okay.
Isaiah,
Yup.
real quick, I know you already answered Easy's question, and I just wanted to elaborate even a little bit more. Isaiah, we our team share information very, very frequently, and every day, the team share like how many missed calls we have, and how many missed calls we call back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, it says we have 5 missed calls and we call back 3 of them. So if you cannot get a hold of us, sometimes we're finding out is that you guys are calling, not within the business hour. Number 1, number 2, maybe we were on a call or something like that, because sometimes we try to explain things in detail, so it does take longer, or sometimes people need to verify some information. Those take longer. And if you're the 2 people that we missed and we couldn't call back, feel free to leave a message. But yeah, like sometimes we do have missed call at most. Like I ever seen was like 8 missed calls, and we only got to able to call back 3. So there are 5 missed calls or something like that that we couldn't get a hold of. So rest assured, if you cannot get a hold of us during, on the phone during business hour, I think that's very important, because it has to be during the business
during business hours. If we're not there during business hours, there's no one going to be there.
Yeah, like I do. This is what I heard from Matt. He will get calls around 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time. That's 7 o'clock our Pacific time. He's not even at work yet.
Yeah.
So I hope this was. You need to know this too, Isaiah. So it will help you answer the question a lot.
No, of course.
Better.
I mean, I say the same thing to like every customer, right? Like a lot of times when you're calling, because it also depends on where you are. You are absolutely right. A lot of times when people call out to our CS department, Matt's not even in or he's already gone, right? It depends like really on what time they're calling. And even then, like we're pretty good about keeping on top of our phone calls and everything, missed calls. But again, there's always other channels as well. You know what I mean? I'm on top of like Discord right now. Discord, we should be 100% caught up. There's a few things that are pending as far as like, messages that like, okay, cases like that are going on, like RMA stuff. But as far as like actual responses, yeah, we should be 100% caught up right now. Last I checked, which is like, I don't know, 4:59, 5 o'clock.
I know, the whole team are all working on this. And believe it or not, a lot of times people do chat it up with us on especially on Instagram. I have seen like it's an ongoing conversation.
Oh yeah.
I'm not telling you guys to stop doing that. Go ahead and talk to us. But if we cannot get back to you on time, because it's an ongoing conversation, like, hey, what's up? How's it going? I'm looking at buying this. And
we got like so many, like we get so many responses on a regular basis. We do, even though we do consider every message a priority, we do have to go ahead and prioritize, guys that might be having problems with their order or, like stuff like that, as opposed to, hey, what's your favorite color, which I have gotten before.
Yeah, so don't blow us up on Instagram too. I mean, I have seen that before.
Yes, same.
And that's it. Easy. Hopefully, it answer your question. And you can always email us too.
Yeah, that's another way too.
If we don't get back to you around time, sometimes they do get filtered out, and just try this again. There are many ways to get a hold of us.
Absolutely.
We even have customer emailing me directly, and you guys know that, and they get taken care of so fast.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. Sounds good.
Your guest is coming up.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
All right. Later. Well. All right, guys. Well, with that said, it's definitely been past 35. So, welcome to another episode of the No Flight List live stream. My name is Isaias. I'm going to be your host for tonight. Thank you so much for everyone that chose to go ahead and spend their free time hanging out with me and the rest of the Mayo Gang. Guys, before we go ahead and start answering some questions and even start introducing my guest tonight, I want to go ahead and go over some promos we have going on right now. So, we've mentioned it beforehand. Right now, we have the Bigger Wins You Do Unboxing Mystery Box, one of the best mystery box, hands down, on the Airsoft market for a couple of reasons. $220, right? That's a pretty good affordable price, but you are guaranteed a higher retail value than what you actually pay for, right? We have bonus raffles going on, and we grant requests. So if you guys wanted to say, I don't know, let's say a BCM, maybe something from VFC, right? Or say you wanted something like an A&K Mark 46, maybe a 240, right? Whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you guys are looking for, feel free to go ahead and put that request down when you place the order for one, right? Once you place the order for that, we will be able to go ahead and see all the notes that you put down. So we've granted people's entire wish list before, thanks to the Bigger Wins You Do Unboxing Mystery Box. And you don't want to go ahead and miss out, especially now, because if you order one, you will be getting 10 entries into the Shopping Spree giveaway going on this coming Thursday, this week, for $1,800. Don't miss out, guys. This is going to be one of the easiest dubs you can get, because you're going to be automatically getting something really fucking dope out of your mystery box. And the 10 entries, that's freaking crazy. Absolutely freaking crazy, right? Not only that, we have a promo going on, or two promos going on for today exclusively for this stream right now. We've had previous winners win off of streams, off of promos going off on these streams. So, introducing the first one, any order for an airsoft gun that's $100 or more, you place that order before 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is when the live stream is going to end. You will be getting 10 entries into the Shopping Spree giveaway, 10 chances of winning $1,800. Yes, you heard that right, $1,800, 1800. Don't miss your chance to go ahead and get the best winnings possible. However, if you also go ahead and place a $50 order, right, $50 orders for before 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you will be getting 5 entries into the Shopping Spree giveaway. Another good way to go ahead and increase your odds. We've had plenty of guys coming back to these streams because they want to increase their odds as much as possible. We've had guys win, like Real Wild, who won $3,000 off of the promos that I had during my stream specifically. So make sure that you place your orders right now to take advantage of all the savings we got going on at GI, right? Not only that, we have a ton of items that are discounted right now. You go ahead and hit the sales button on our website right there. Waiting for that to load. Internet is very slow on hot days. Don't know why. Waiting for that to load. Waiting for that to load. Waiting for this to load. There you go. We have shocker deals. Now, what are shocker deals? Shocker deals are going to be the best discounts that you can get on an Airsoft product. This is the most that they could ever be discounted, period. And they're on a timer, meaning that they're not going to be lasting forever. Some of these, like let's take this one, for example, right? The ENC, it's going to be lasting for literally 4 hours, 60 minutes, and 29 seconds and counting, right? And there are many items like this that are going to be on a super short timer that are literally ending like today. So make sure that you place your orders for these bad boys and take advantage. Remember, anything $20 or more and you automatically have a chance. But if it's an Airsoft gun and it's over $100 like one of these guys, you'll be getting 10 entries into the giveaway. Don't miss your shot. It only takes one shot to win. Make sure that you take advantage of yours. All right, now with that said, why don't we go ahead and bring on our guest. Now, today's guest is actually very interesting. This is someone that I actually know personally, someone that I've actually had the pleasure of playing with many times and actually working with as a coworker as well. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give my homie Sigma 013 or Sigma 13 for those of you guys that play in the indoor arena, in the indoor scene. I'll be giving him a call. We're going to be talking a little bit, and then as soon as we're done talking, we're going to go ahead and start answering some questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give my man a call. And excuse the sweat right now. I'm very sweaty. It's very hot right now. Whew.
No worries.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, sweet. All right, so let's see. Let's go make sure that you are being registered in the chat right now. Jim, the Mad Viking. Hey, what's going on, bro? Guys, let me know if you can go ahead and hear Sigma real quick. Can you go ahead and give us a testing 1, 2, 3?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Let's see here. Let me go ahead and bring it up a little more. All right, try again.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, I think that should be good. Let me just wait for the response, see if we can go ahead and hear something from people. Guys, let me know if you guys can go ahead and hear my guest going on right now. See if he's doing a little testing 1, 2, 3. I want to confirm that you guys can hear him as well. Okay. First, his response is no, but it might be delayed. Can't hear. Okay. Very barely. All right. He's low. Let me go ahead and bring him up. Let's go here. All right, go for it.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, let's see here. All right, you guys can hear him now?
Are we good now?
Are we good now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think everyone's saying that you are good. Read him 5 by 5. All right, sick. That means you are coming in nice and clear. First and foremost, I want to say thank you, Sigma, for joining me on my stream today. I know I asked you last week.
I'm going to let it be known he bribed me.
What happened?
You bribed me.
Absolutely, Chad. If you didn't know, he takes bribes 100%. That's how you get him to do anything. You got to give him money outright. But yes, no, thank you, man, for joining me on my stream. I know you're a very busy guy. I'll get into that later as to why you're so busy if you feel like disclosing that. But yeah, I know you have a very busy schedule. So thank you so much for jumping in. And I want to go ahead and ask you some questions. But beforehand, I want to go ahead and give you a little introduction. So first of all, I'll go ahead and give you some introductory questions just that way chat knows exactly who you are and everything. But
okay, fine.
God, you give me such an attitude.
When do I not?
That's true. This is very on brand for you. All right. So who is Sigma 013, right? Where do you, or like, who are you? What have you been doing? What are you most known for as far as a content creator? Where do you normally play? And what's kind of your whole deal, man?
Okay, so I'm a SoCal player. I play at Project N1.
Okay.
I used to be a Tech City player like prior to 2018. Pre-pandemic, I was a Tech City player. Made the transition to N1 just because it was closer, and with the pandemic, it was just easier. A lot of people know me for being either the anime airsofter or the guy with really fast high kappas.
That's true. Like I definitely know that you've definitely, or at least as far as I can tell, are one of the earliest like examples of what I can think of when it came to like the colloquial term of like a weeb softer. Was that like something that you had done beforehand, or better yet, like what is it like? So you obviously you are a big weeb. Obviously, if you guys can't see his Discord freaking profile on picture, whenever we're on the Airsoft GI Discord server, obviously you're a very big weeb. But like, how did you get into Airsoft, and like, how do you find that these two things overlap? Because these are the two biggest things that I know you for. Obviously, most people I think can agree that they know you for is obviously your weeb stuff, right? The fact that you slap weeb stickers on shit on everything, and then also airsoft.
Okay. So, I got into airsoft in like 2012, 2016, something around there. I was doing competitive martial arts at the time, and me and my friends we do martial arts. We like contact sports.
Uh-huh.
And someone suggested the idea of, oh, one of our homies' birthday's coming up. We should go airsoft together. Did it once. My entire group loved it. So we started doing that every year. Like for everyone's birthday, we'd just go play airsoft together. So at the time, we'd only play maybe like 4, maybe 6 times a year. After I graduated high school, got my driver's license and everything, I started playing more regularly. And that's when I started shopping at GI with you.
I do remember.
As far as...
Oh, go for it.
And so then as far as where the anime influence came from, I just kind of had a lot of downtime in high school. Like I just started college, community college. My freshman year, there wasn't much of a workload. I was working part-time for my uncle. So I was like, had so much free time just trying to figure out what to do. Ended up deciding on just, watching anime with my little brother because that's what he was doing at the time. Then I applied to GI, got the position as a technician, and the head tech at the time, Taylor, was the one that got me hooked on anime. He was like always shooting me recommendations on what to watch and, hey, if you like this, do this, that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. No, so it was definitely all through like recommendations. I know that but when I first met you, I know that you were already a big Initial D fan. That was like the one thing I remember, like, because we kind of like connected a little bit. Because you were when Sigma was my regular at the storefront. Still, he was like always like bringing up like Initial D and like the memes that came from it, and I was just like, oh yeah, I do. I watched that too.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually a huge Initial D fan, and that's because of my other background. I grew up in a car family, so I grew up driving cars, multiple different cars, and just modifying them, that kind of stuff. So Initial D kind of hit that sweet spot for me of, hey, this anime actually talks about cars, and they actually talk about cars. It's not like Fast and Furious where it's a show with cars in it.
Jesus, yeah, no, it's that whole series is basically just gone derailed. They're all superheroes now that happen to be in cars. But before we continue on, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Stitch, Brewer, Carlos, and Ronald. All of them have gotten themselves 5 additional entries into the shopping spree giveaway. They took advantage of the $50 promo going on right now and got themselves 5 entries into the giveaway. You guys can do the exact same thing, and all you need to do is place a $50 or greater order. $50 or greater, and you will be getting 5 entries into the shopping spree giveaway as long as you place the order before 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when this live stream ends. However, if you want to get even more entries, make sure to buy an airsoft gun that's $100 or more. That way you'll be getting 10 entries too. Yeah, choked on my own spit there. Don't miss your chance to get as many entries as possible and win $1,800 for yourselves. All right, now with that said, moving on to the next question. Okay, so how did you like first start going to like GI? Like, what was the first? Was that like your go-to store from the get-go? And then what kind of kept you coming back? Because I remember you were a regular for quite a while before you became an employee.
Well, frick it. We'll do it. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I tend to have a lot of funsy money to burn, and so I like to build guns.
Sure.
So I was building a lot of AEGs at the time, and GI is just the closest store to me. It's literally like 12 minutes from the house.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do live pretty close.
Yeah. So it being that close just made it very easy to just, hey, buy one part at a time. I know like a lot of you guys, like I know Brewer does it, but order the entire parts list for the entire gearbox all at once. I don't do that. I buy one part at a time because I can just drive to the store.
Jesus. All right, so like you were starting to like how okay, let me rewind it even more. How long into like your airsofting like quote unquote career were you into it before you actually started, saying, you know what, fuck it, let me get into this AEG gearbox?
Depends on when you want to say I started my career, like kind of thing. Because again, I played very lightly in like 2012 up to 2016.
Yeah, only like 4 times a year, right?
Yeah, so I don't really consider that my airsoft phase. It was more of like a just hanging out thing. So 2018 and onward, I literally lasted 6 months.
Okay. Damn, that's pretty quick. Actually, now that I think about it, like that's really fast before you decide to take the full deep dive in there.
Well, because at that time, I had graduated high school, and then I remember a couple weeks later, everyone was posting videos about the new Gate Titan when it was brand new, and no one knew what it really was. No one knew what a MOSFET was.
I remember when that came out.
Oh yeah, dude, this does all this crap, and I was like, I want that. So I got it, and then someone was like, oh, you got to open your whole gun to do it. And I talked to a technician, and they're like, oh, it's gonna take 3 weeks. I don't got time for that. I want to play tomorrow. So I did it myself.
I ain't got time for that. I got to play tomorrow, bro. I need this in here now.
Yes, I did it myself.
Were you able to do it that
thankfully,
day?
at the time, Gate had a tutorial on their YouTube. It's a pretty lame tutorial, not gonna lie, but it got me through it.
Mm-hmm. Were you able to like get it done that same night though?
Yes, but it cost me doing an all-nighter.
My man, he was still able to do it though. Okay, so like you said that you were mostly like known for playing at Project N1 right now. That's your current main field, but texting in general. So it's safe to assume that generally your preferred place or style of play would definitely be more indoor CQB, right?
Yeah, I'm allergic to the environment.
So what is it about like indoor CQB, like the game style, the play itself, that attracts you a lot more than say outdoor play?
Well, I'm pretty sure everyone that's ever met me knows I'm impatient as hell.
Yes.
I can't stand the 15 minutes of, hey, reload your magazine before we start the next round at like outdoor fields. I only need 10 seconds.
Wow. For those of you that are like just watching right now and don't know Sigma personally, yes, this is 100% a fact. He is very, very impatient when it comes to like waiting for stuff. In general, he doesn't want to wait. He just wants to get right into the action, which I can understand that. So was that really just the main thing? Was it just like how fast that like I guess the staging process or the breaks can be? Yeah.
But that was the main thing. The other like side thing, because I do play with you guys at Wildlands every here and there. The chance. So playing outside isn't like something I don't do. It's just the way my work hours are. I work really early in the morning. So if I'm going to go play, I have to dedicate a day off of work versus if I play indoors, they open late. So I can go to work, have a couple hours of downtime home, and then go play indoors.
You know, that's actually fair because a lot of people have that's the very same schedule, right? Like especially a lot of parents too. I forget what his name. Remember Joshua from N1? Brings in his kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same. It's actually in the same boat. Like, because he works like super long hours, you know, his kid also goes to school, right? So summertime is the only time they can really play a lot longer. But on the regular, they'll normally come in like Fridays, maybe Wednesdays after school. And then after he's done with work, his shift, he'll come pick up his kid and then go immediately play, right? So I kind of get it, right? It definitely appeals to like more like the night owls or guys that just have a little bit more free time during the night as opposed to during the day. Because that's when a lot of people do work. Is there anything, though, that you feel that you get outside of that, of course, right? Outside of just
side note. Hi, Sandy.
Outside of that, do you think that there is something more that you enjoy in indoor play versus outdoor play? Like, is there something a little bit more unique of a flavor to indoor as opposed to outdoor that you just wouldn't get otherwise?
I'm actually going to say the complete opposite. There's one thing I like about outdoors a lot.
Okay.
And it's the fact that I can hang out with my homies.
Okay,
what I mean by that? Yeah. It's because indoors, it's a lot of, hey, let's go play Airsoft, guys. And then everyone goes off and does their own thing. Like, I'll go play by the rep tower. Isaias might be playing on the far left. And then someone else will be playing on the far right. And we don't talk to each other ever. You play outdoors, and it's like, hey, Isaias, I'm pinned down. Can you get the guy that's on that airplane tail thing, Mabob? I don't know what the hell it's called.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you like actually like playing with the homies itself. It definitely that's something that you miss more of an indoor in an indoor scene, right?
Yeah, because indoor is a lot of just chemistry. Like if you guys have never played together, you guys aren't going to do well together because you're not really talking. It's more just understanding how your teammate's going to move.
Okay, so like you speak like you have actually like a lot of experience. Obviously, you've been playing for a little while now, but have you ever been in a professional setting or on a professional team before?
I haven't played on a team officially, but I used to play as a substitute for multiple different teams. I just, for a while, I wanted to join a team. And then in like 2020, that kind of phase kind of fell out and I became a weeb softer and I just kind of enjoyed the casual side of Airsoft.
Okay. Typically, like when it comes to like playing the actual like more casual side, like what would you say are the main differences between like saying playing more on a casual setting and indoor versus playing at a more professional level? For me, it sounds like one is just a little bit sweatier, a little bit more competitive. But is that really the case, or is there more to it?
That and a lot of like you find that a lot of casual players, like if you look at my group of friends, we'll all just go and we'll play whatever field layout's there. But when you start getting competitive players out there, they start complaining about how the field is unbalanced the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, bro, do you want a symmetrical field? Just go play your tournament layout then. I don't know. Some of us want something different every week.
No, I get that. I definitely prefer a little bit more variety when it comes to my games. One second. Okay, so you're definitely more of an indoor player. You said that I remember too for a while you used to be the biggest like regular, or at least one of the bigger regulars at Tax City. Which again, great field if you guys haven't been. Do recommend it for checking it out. But you switched over to N1. Is there any particular reason why that you switched fields? Because normally most like indoor players that I know, they'll have like their one field and that's it. Like they're not going anywhere else.
Yeah, so that is the thing. Indoor players are ride or die. They pick one of the fields and they stick there the whole time. But during the pandemic, I had actually taken a long break from Airsoft because no one was playing and all the fields were closed and whatnot.
Sure.
And a lot of my friends just weren't playing anymore. So the casual friends I used to play with aren't playing, or they're on teams, and I'm not interested in playing that kind of stuff. And then a couple of our regular customers, I don't know if you remember the guy that used to drive the Type R that used to pull up the store. But Garrett and Aiden, they hit me up and they're like, hey, we're going to try to get into Airsoft. You want to come meet us in one? And in my mind, I was like, I should probably go play with my customers, like especially if they're my regulars, just so we understand each other.
Yeah.
So I decided, screw it. I'm going to go play with my friends, play with these dudes. And then we started playing more regularly, became friends and that kind of stuff. And I just kind of stuck at N1 after that.
Is there anything about like N1's field layout or just in field layouts in general? Is there anything about a field that you'll play at that you're like, oh, I really want to see this. I really want to see this. And if a field has these features, then that's going to be like your favorite field.
There's not a certain feature I like. The one thing I like about N1 a lot is they change the field layout every Friday. So like if you're playing and you get a little bit bored, just wait a week, next week.
Yeah, that's true. Like every time I go there, it is like just a completely different setup. We've actually played a couple times, and Brendan can. Damn it! I just outed you. Sorry. Sigma can attest to the fact that like that when
it's
we
all
play,
good. My name's out there already.
I will, especially indoors. I will literally get so goddamn lost. I won't even know where I'm going. I'm literally just frustrated, just moving back and forth, and everyone's laughing at me, just watching me, just like run around in circles because I can't find my way out.
I think there's a video of it in 2018 when you were trying to clean up the field because it was me, you, and Kevin.
Yes,
the three of us were fighting off 5 dudes. Me and Kevin handled 4 of them, and there was one guy left, and you're mopping up, and you're doing donuts. You're like, I don't know how to get to the middle of the field.
I keep going around, but I didn't want to stop moving, right? I didn't want to stop moving. So I was like, all right, just keep moving, right? Even if I go in a circle, fuck it, right? Just as long as I'm not an easy target. So I'm just moving around in a circle constantly trying to figure out where the fuck I'm supposed to go. All right, before we continue, just want to go ahead and give a shout out to, looks like we got several people right now. Looks like we got Ortiz right now. Got himself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of 5 additional entries. I don't know how many freaking entries. That's a lot of different entries going on right now. Ronald got himself another 5 entries. Guys, for anyone that's just watching right now, if you guys are just watching the stream, you haven't really placed an order for anything, first of all, thank you for watching. I actually do appreciate your viewership. However, you guys are missing out on the chance to go ahead and win $1,800 for yourself. We do a shopping spree giveaway every week, every Thursday, where you can win some major cash prizes. $1,800 is what the prize pot is up to right now. If you place an order for any airsoft gun that is $100 or more, you will be getting 10 entries into the shopping spree giveaway. If you place an order for anything $50 or more, right, the accumulation of things, BBs, green gas, we all need the essentials, right, the consumables. Place an order for that, and you will be getting 5 entries in the shopping spree giveaway. But these two are only going to matter until the end of 9:30. Once 9:30 hits, that is going to be the end of these promos, and you guys have missed out on your chance. Another one we got going on right now, if you guys are looking for something really cool but not too sure what to get, or you want to try your luck, check out the Bigger Wins YouTube Unboxing Mystery Box. automatic free shipping, higher retail value than what you actually pay for, and regrant requests. So if you guys say wanted, I don't know, let's say an MP5, right? An actual fully licensed Elite Force HK MP5, you can definitely go ahead and put a request for that. We might be able to go ahead and grant your wish. You never know. We've granted whole people's wish lists off of these mystery boxes. $220 is all it costs, and you automatically get that free shipping. Don't miss out and get as many entries as you possibly can and win $1,800 for yourself. Don't let this opportunity slip you by. All right. Now, with that said, all right, so we went over fields, right? Go-to fields. As far as like working in a team or working as like a play, or rather, I should go back to even further. What is? I know you obviously you play in an indoor field, but even then, indoor field play can still be a little bit diverse. What would you say is like your general style or the way you like to play? How would you describe it?
I got two because I'm sporadic.
Okay.
Either I'm camping in the back with my Polistar or I'm dolphin diving the nearest barrier every time with my hot kappa.
That sounds about right. You do have two very distinct play styles. You either are, it's true. I think I've seen it too, where you're either just, I'm a little more passive hanging out in the back, or you're just being a little more aggressive. Of the two, though, which do you usually have more fun playing at?
The rifle, standing in the back.
Really?
Yes, because my thing is I don't necessarily need to be hitting people to have fun airsofting. I know a lot of people that worry about like how many people they've hit the day. I don't care about that. I just like shooting my gun.
Well, that's fair. Shooting guns, at the end of the day, too, it doesn't really matter if like we're super accurate or not. Obviously, accuracy like can definitely help like get those kills if that's what you're going for. But at the end of the day, just going outside or even in an indoor field and just shooting your airsoft gun is fun in itself. Okay, so you mentioned that you actually have like you're either up close in person with like say a pistol or you're like hitting the back with a rifle. How many guns right now would you say are in your collection?
I have 3 rifles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Rifles. I got the Polistar.
Okay.
I got the gas blowback that's sitting at GI right now, and I have the 416 DSG.
Sweet. No, is that the same HPA? No, wait, no, it's not. I was gonna ask if that was you gave that one to your brother. That was the Amoeba.
So the Amoeba I actually had sold to our resident collector.
I see.
Yeah, his name shall not be stated. I sold it to him, and then he put a Polistar Jack in there, and then he sold me back my F2 that was in there, and so that F2 is now my brother's gun. So yeah, I kind of have my old gun, not really.
It's in spirit. You have it in spirit.
Yes. Okay. So would I ever rebuild it? No.
And then now here's the bigger questions. What you're most known for? How many high kappas do you have?
One. 2,
oh my God, he's
3,
actually counting.
4, 5. I have 6. No, I have 7. Because I have the G&G one. I forgot I bought the G&G one.
Damn, 7 high caps. You know what? Like, for whatever reason, I was expecting it to be a higher number. It's still a lot, but like, damn, that's actually not too terrible. But still,
okay. The thing is, it looks like a lot because all of my friends send me their high kappas to work on. Okay. So I post a lot of their guns too.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so sorry, I'm also chewing food right now.
No worries.
Okay,
yeah, so
when it comes
if
to
you know Matt,
yeah,
he has the other 6 high kappas.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So with this, like, sort of, I guess sort of like weeb soft, like sort of like small community, because Airsoft in itself is already a niche community, but this sort of weeb soft scene, right? I started noticing sort of like taking off like around 2018, 2019. Do you think, and again, because you are a content creator, because you do post content out there on the web, and as much as you like to deny it, as much as you like to deny it, I do feel that you are like, I can indeed call you an influencer because obviously you do have sponsorships. But when it comes to like that sort of weepsoft scene, do you feel like you were probably one of the first, at least in the SoCal area, to sort of like bring that to light?
Hey. We've already established this, that I started it.
Okay, that you just completely started the whole scene altogether. All right.
To be fair, I know exactly who started it.
Okay.
And it didn't take off until I posted the Saber build. Because I remember no one was doing anime builds until I posted the blue Saber build.
It's fair. It's fair to say. I actually do remember like not seeing pretty much anything. You might find like a charm here and there on like a gun or like a rifle, or maybe it was based on a gun that people had seen in anime, but nothing like just straight on sticker slapped or like art around it. Like basically the way I equate it to a lot of his like Sigma style and a lot of these Weepsoft guns are essentially what you would get if you got like an Natasha wrap for a car and you put that on a gun. That's the best way I can describe it.
Okay, I'm going to explain to Aaron what a weeb softer is. A weeb softer is an airsofter that openly represents everything about anime while they airsoft.
Yes.
So when I'm playing, you will know instantly it's me because I have a giant waifu sticker on my mask that blinds 40% of my screen.
It's very interesting. Like it's a different like subsect, I guess. More of an aesthetic thing more at the end of the day. Like as far as like how to identify them or how they distinguish themselves, right? Instead of like putting like, you know, just your standard like multicolored high kappa together, right? Or putting like a two-tone if that was a thing, like if you do a gold and black, right? Instead of just seeing that, you would typically see some type of like anime artwork on there as well. It's very cool to see, and there are like some really, really well done ones. Sigma is actually like, again, he's mentioned it before, that there was a Saber build from the series Fate. He actually had a build out there that got really, really, really big, and it blew up. Like it got really big all over Instagram, especially Instagram. But I remember for a while too, like people didn't really know you too much when you were starting out as like, you know, a content creator. But it wasn't until you started posting with that gun that people would be like, oh, they would recognize on the field, like, oh, so you're the guy with the gun.
Yes, I remember that phase. It was the most awkward experience because I was still in storefront at the time, and it was a weekend I was working with you. And there was that one guy, he came in and he was like, oh, you're the guy that owns that gun. I'm like, where did you see these? Oh, it's on Reddit. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even on Reddit. Someone's stealing my own content, bro.
Jeez. That is freaking hilarious. Okay, want to go to give another shout out to, looks like Ortiz again. Man, this guy Ortiz, I think it's Chris Ortiz if I'm not mistaken. He's gonna be getting himself that win, man. With the amount of 5 entries that he's got with those, with all those orders that he's placing multiple $50 orders right now. Guys, he is smart. He is taking advantage of all the promos right now going, especially this one. You guys can be just like him. You guys can be just like him and win $1,800. But all it takes, literally, is to go in and place your orders. Once you do that, you guys are automatically set, and it is that easy to get a chance at winning $1,800 for yourself. Okay, so
hold on. I need
what's up?
That. Because Jason put in the chat, give him a high cap and he'll do anything.
Wow. You know, that's not entirely wrong. Jeez. I'm pretty sure you can do it on any gun. Okay, is there any gun that you will not... I'll call it Weebicize?
No. I'm open to do anything.
Open to do anything? Any platform?
I'm pretty sure I have the only Weeb M4 out there.
That makes sense. I think so. Well, at least as far as I can tell. I haven't seen anyone really commit to that same level that you do.
Yeah, no, I full sent on that one.
Okay, so when it comes to, like, I guess airsoft as a whole, right? We talked about your play style. We talked about fields that you like to typically go to. This is another question that I actually asked, because this is kind of interesting to see. What is your least favorite part about airsoft, right? We can get as real as you want to be, right? What is one thing about airsoft that, like, you know, maybe as a content creator, you're just, whether as a content creator or a player, right, or even an employee, what's one thing that you actually don't like to see, or one thing that really like grinds your gears or irks you?
The tryhards that go to a public play.
Okay, can you elaborate?
Okay, it bugs the hell out of me because, okay, when I say tryhards, I don't mean competitive players. Like, if you're gonna be in the competitive environment, cool, go play your speed QB, go play your jungle ball, whatever. But tryhards, as in those guys that care about how many people they're hitting per day, but are too afraid to actually hop on a tournament field. So they decide to go play public play, ruin that one kid's birthday party, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so good at airsoft. No, bro, you're trash. You're playing at a 10-year-old's birthday, bro. Calm down. Those guys.
Okay,
bug
no,
the hell out of me.
we're on the exact same page then, because I genuinely hate when I see that as well. And obviously, yeah, it's a meme, right? We've seen it before, and we both laughed at stuff like this when we've seen it on, like, you know, just as a regular text meme, where it's like, oh yeah, the guy that shows up to like a kid or like a rental's birthday party, right, and ruins the birthday. Like, obviously, like, it can be a little funny. Again, I've mentioned before, it can be a little funny, and you can even chuckle a little bit, especially if you have a dark sense of humor like we do. However, honestly, like, I really don't like seeing that sort of content, especially when I see videos. I don't know how you feel about it, but what goes on in your head whenever you see those like mag dump videos or like these videos of guys going real freaking hard trying to make themselves seem cool, but you realize that they're playing against like kids.
Yeah, I don't get it, because like all these guys are clout chasing, so it's like they want to get famous on the internet, but then they're gonna get banned from the field immediately. So where's your future content at?
Yeah, no, like exactly. It ends up being like completely detrimental to what it is they're trying to do. Because if they're really trying to be like a regular content creator or maybe an airsoft influencer, right, and post regular content, then how are they going to be able to if at the end of the day they're getting kicked out of every single field that they go to? Yeah, it just seems very, very counterproductive. Darwin's Arbiter.
Hold on.
Oh, what's up?
Chan is right. I do have one more gun. I just bought an MWS.
Oh, hell yeah, that's right. I thought you mentioned the GBVR.
I did. That's my G&G gas blowback I bought off Cisco.
Okay.
But Matt talked me into buying an MWS.
Sweet. You guys all are going to be MWS game. I don't know if I want to make the investment in one, though. I kind of want to, especially because...
Okay.
I don't know if you saw our video. I don't know if you saw the video that we put out. When all we did to a MWS, we took Boaz's, swapped out the barrel for a unicorn setup. Dude. Easily clearing 100 yards. That shit was crazy. It was really freaking good. Like, I was surprised at the level of accuracy that I could actually achieve. We actually put a short out on it. But actually, there is one question for you specifically that I saw. Darwin's Arbiter asks, I already know the answer, but have you seen the Pantsu magazine assists?
I have them.
Yeah, he has several.
I have an entire set of pinks. I have 2 white ones, 1 black one, and I have a few teal ones. Teal/blue, because some websites call them different colors.
Yes,
I have them.
Like, so many people. I remember when that came out, I started seeing, especially indoors, I started seeing a lot more people with those. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of a weird mag. Like, I remember looking at like a few people's mags in their plate carriers and chest rigs. I'm like, oh, that's a weird pull tap. And then they pull it. I'm like, God damn it.
Should I cause a little bit of drama?
What happened?
Should I cause a bit of drama?
Fuck it. Why not?
Okay. Well, those pantsuit tap thingies, I know that you remember them from like 2016, right? When they were popular.
I remember them from 2018 and 2019, actually. I was late.
Okay, so yeah. But then they were sold out everywhere from like 2020, like COVID forward. It was like sold out. Couldn't get it. So I wanted them so badly for my, I don't know what you want to call my Polar Star, but my Weeb Polar Star. I wanted the mag pantsuit so badly. I was hunting for them everywhere. The person that found them for me was Cisco.
Really?
It was Cisco that told me to go to this place to get them. Jeez. And they had them. So I ordered I ordered their entire inventory of pinks.
That is absolutely fucking hilarious that Cisco was the one that mentioned that. He told he would know. Okay, let's see here.
Lord Cisco knows all.
Cisco knows all.
If you want to be good at airsoft, what you got to do is pray to Lord Cisco every morning.
I mean, that's what we've been telling. Seriously, that's what the whole point of the bigger wins you do in boxing mystery. I don't know if you know, like the mystery boxes that we do, like the bigger wins ones. We grant requests. Cisco is the one, for all the guys that don't know out there. Cisco looks at those requests when it comes to the mystery boxes, and if he sees that you guys have a request for a very specific gun, or you guys are looking for a loadout, we will do our damnness to try to fit that. Obviously, if it's within the budget that we allot for the boxes, if we can do it, absolutely we're going to do it. And I want to go and give a shout out, looks like to Ellen got themselves 10 entries into the shopping spree giveaway. Holy shit. They have a good chance now, honestly, of fucking winning, being able to go ahead and compete with, I believe that's Chris Ortiz, trying to go ahead and get those multiple 5 entries. They got themselves 10 entries because they picked up an airsoft gun that was $100 or more before the end of the live stream, 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when obviously the live stream is going to end. Make sure that you follow suit and follow in their footsteps. Remember, you can get just as many entries, and all you got to do is follow these promos that we have going on right now. But remember, this guy and this one are only going to be available till the end of the live stream. Once it's 9:30, that's it. No more promos. That is going to be it. So make sure you place your orders now. All right. So we've talked about like guns. We've talked about gear. What would you say is like? With also what you don't like about airsoft as well. As a content creator, right? Like, this is going to be something more like, I guess, for along the lines of
I
you.
love how you call me a content
You
creator.
are, because, okay, like...
The guy that posts so randomly, I think I post maybe like every other month.
Hey man, I know content creators that like fucking will post once a year if we're lucky, and they still get billions of views, right? Like it is what it is. That's what you do. It is what it is. That's who you are. But as a content creator, do you find joy in like the things? Obviously, it seems like you do. But do you find joy in posting the content that you do, or do you find that sometimes for you as a creator, it does get boring or it does get stale trying to like upload this on a regular basis?
Oh no, I like to post my high kappas because they're fun and it looks cool on camera, but it's also to prove a point. So, and my only point is, you can make a really, really fast shooting pistol if you just put the effort in. It's not that hard. I picked it up in a couple months.
To be fair, you're also literally a rocket scientist. So, well, not really, but well, yeah, kind of. You kind of are a rocket scientist at the end of the day as well. So, but I get what you're saying. It's not impossible to go ahead and have your dream builds put out there. In reality, right? Let's assume that you have someone of my intelligence level, right? I like to equate myself to basically a monkey. Let's say you have someone with my intelligence level, Brendan, or God damn it, fucking Christ. Sorry, Sigma. So if you have someone
just
with my
use whichever one you're comfortable with.
I just don't want to like keep calling you that.
Out there. Everyone knows it.
Well, okay, fine, Brendan. All right, Brendan, if you had someone of my intelligence level, right, and like starting from scratch, right, they're going to go ahead and start building out their high cap. How hard and difficult would it be, do you think, realistically, to get it shooting fairly accurately, consistently, and pretty reliably as far as like function-wise?
Well, if you just want like the accuracy side, it's really easy. It's just barrel and bucking, obviously. Yep. But as far as all the other performance aspects, you know, there's a cheat sheet. It's called go to Sigma013's Instagram and hit the bio button because there's a spreadsheet with my parts list.
That's true. I mean, we have a ton of videos on our site as well, but yes, you do make do put that information out there as well on your Instagram. You do make it fairly easy to go ahead and put those parts out there. But even then, let's assume that you didn't have that, like the actual work itself, like rather the installation, the labor, all that shit. How percentage-wise, how difficult do you, or on a number of like scale of 1 to 10, how difficult would you say it is really at the end of the day?
To do a high cap is like a 5.
Okay.
And if we're only talking about just the slide, it's like a 2. The frame is the hardest part. And the frame is hard because there's not a lot of stuff in it, but everything is so vital to how the gun shoots, which is why like I know that Brewer has a high cap I did for him. I didn't have to change much in the Jag gun to get it to shoot faster. We just had to do a little bit of spring adjustments, you know, a little bit of bending, a little bit of trimming, and gun shoots way faster.
No, that makes sense. So you definitely are like, I'm glad you're mentioning that there are some brands that are a lot easier to work on, or maybe don't require as much in order to get to shoot at that performance level. What would you say are your top 3 brands when it comes to high kappas in general? Like just straight out of the box. Because I know there's obviously like that whole thing, right, where it's like, I know you're a TM fanboy. I mean, it's fine if you are.
Hold on. I know what you're going to say. Yes, I am a TM fanboy. But do I recommend TM for most people? No.
Really?
I can't. Because the thing is, we're at that point where Army Armament and the Jags shoot so well. And the only thing that drives me insane with them is the trigger is stupid heavy. And that's literally one spring. You do one spring change and you're good to go.
Okay, all right. But like, would you say that Army Armament and Jag are now like some of your 2 favorite like high kappa producers at this point in time, as of this pod or as of this live stream?
Like I don't personally run one. I have one, but I got it more to prove a point that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars to make a super fancy high kappa. Do I still prefer to run my fancy high kappas on camera? Yes, because I like colors.
Fair enough.
But if you just want a gun that shoots well, yeah, I think Army and Jag is the way to go. You save a lot of money, and the money you save from not buying that $120 Airsoft Masterpiece aluminum slide, it could be for your barrel, your bucking, your short kit, your springs, and fixing your trigger that's too heavy, and you'll still have like $50 left over.
No, that actually sounds like pretty sound advice. So what would you say are the, like, I guess if you had to give a list of like your top 3 most important, because I get this question actually quite a bit on my live streams whenever I just answer questions on my own. What would you say are the 3 most important components for upgrading your high kappa? Let's say they got like a completely stock, like, I don't know, a golden eagle.
Is barrel and bucking combined as one part?
Sure.
Okay. So personally, I always change my barrel and bucking. I like to have short strokes, but that's more of a, if you want it, it's not a hard recommend. A hard recommend for me is actually a good sear spring. Getting a nice sear spring will definitely, if you don't know how to like bend them well, just buy a brand new one. It'll make your life so much easier. And then a higher recoil spring goes a long way. I wouldn't go too high. I know a lot of people like to be like, oh, I got this 150% because it'll reset my gun faster. But you got to remember, the springs go both ways. Yeah, it'll send it forward faster, but it's also going to take more time for the slide to come back because there's more force it has to get through. Mm-hmm. So finding a nice balance in between is good. So I typically run like 130s, 120.
Okay. All right. No, that's actually good information. Thank you, because I actually do get that question quite a bit, and I do try to recommend it. Like, number one for me on pretty much any airsoft gun, regardless of whether it's gas blowback, AEGs, I usually try to say to people like, hey, first things first, before you do anything else, just swap out the bucking in the inner barrel. If you can, do the nub if you want to lift heavier BBs, if that's a thing. If that's, if you're running an AEG, then yeah, I would definitely say that. But no, I'm glad. Okay, so how important would you say is then, say something like the loading nozzle, like changing that out or changing out the blowback housing unit?
Blowback housing doesn't do very much at all.
Okay.
The nozzle itself, typically, it's not a huge deal until you start min-maxing. And most people aren't min-maxing. Most people just want a solid drop-in. Like, they put it in and they're like, does it work? Cool, it works. I'm cool. I'm going to go play. Versus me, I sit there and I'm like, bruh, this nozzle could be compressing like an inch further.
Like, we're talking about like ultra perfectionism at this point.
Yeah. If you're being ultra perfectionist, then yeah, the nozzle matters. But if you're just, a casual player, you're like, hey, I just want a gun that works and is reliable. It doesn't really matter. If it shoots, it shoots. Because at the end of the day, a nozzle that shoots well and a nozzle that doesn't is about 20 FPS difference. You're looking about, on a 4.3, let's say, you're looking about 300 FPS to 320 FPS. It's not a big deal.
Okay. No, like that, yeah, at the end of the day, it's not really going to be that big of a deal for, like, again, just your first timer getting into it, right? They got themselves like their first Golden Eagle high kappa, right? That was like $130 or $115, right? Or even sometimes even less, depending on what brand they go with. But yeah, no, those are very like good sound advice to go ahead and give. Also, want to give another shout out to James. Got himself the 5 engines in shopping spree. Not as many people taking advantage of the promos right now. It's a little sad. Remember, any airsoft gun that you buy will be getting you 10 entries into the shopping spree giveaway, so long as you place it before 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And any order that's $50 or more placed before 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time will get you the 5 entries into the shopping spree. Remember, all it takes is a $20 order to be entered, but you might as well go ahead and increase your odds as much as possible and help yourself win that $1,800 cash prize. Okay, so go ahead. Like, we've been on for a little while, so I'll go ahead and like start finally asking the final questions. So when it comes to your like coming from all your experience playing for this many years, obviously you've been worked with a couple different like companies as well, being sponsored, pushing like certain products and what have you. What would you say, and like for anyone that's getting into it, right? Anyone that's like first starting into getting into airsoft, what would you say is like the best piece of advice that you can go ahead and give to someone who wants to get started into it?
Like getting started into airsoft, or
yeah,
getting
airsoft
started
as a whole,
trying to be a content creator?
Airsoft as a whole, and then I would say, because obviously you're just I'm just mentioning all that stuff because you're very well versed in airsoft as a whole. You kind of understand how the industry works because you work in it. You've seen how things work on the back end, and obviously you've been playing for a while as well. But what would you say as a piece of advice giving to a newer player who wants to get into it? Let's say even specifically, let's take it a step further. A new player getting into airsoft who wants to do more like competitive, more indoor stuff.
Okay. My biggest advice for someone just getting into it, assuming they have no gear, spend your budget on getting a nicer mask and skimp on the gun. Because I know a lot of players think of it like, oh, if I get a nicer gun, it'll give me better performance and I'll just shoot better. But my mindset is no see, no shoot.
Yeah.
Get masks that don't fog.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, like GI, we do carry a wide assortment of different face protection options. Well, obviously, like you're gonna see it a lot if you go to any indoor field or CQB arena. You're gonna find a bunch of guys wearing the like dye style masks, right? These sort of high end paintball masks. Brendan, you run one as well. Pretty much everyone that plays indoors run one, and for a good reason. Good eye protection is going to be something that is very invaluable, especially in an indoor setting, considering how hot and stuffy it can be. Running something that's not going to fog on you is going to be like essential.
And then if you're gonna go down the dye route and you want to play indoors,
yeah,
you may want to go check out the field before you go, because videos don't do well portraying what the field's gonna look like. Because N1, when I post it, looks really bright. In person, it's dim as balls.
Yes.
So go check out the field, and then I would recommend like deciding on whether or not you want tinted lenses, because you can get the tinted lens and look really edgy, really cool, but it might not be fun not seeing the floor.
Yeah, I know you've had a few accidents when it comes to airsoft as well because of how dark it or how dimly lit something was.
No, I have accidents because I slip on BBs.
BBs are airsofters' worst enemy.
It's because I wear Vans, and the Vans have the hexagons in them, and they're the perfect size for the BBs. So if I run around too much, it turns into roller skates.
Brendan has literally, I'm not joking, guys, Sigma has literally gone out to like a field one day. I remember him telling, oh yeah, I'm going to go out to play. And I see him the very next day, the very next business day, and he comes in with a cast. And I'm like, what happened? I tripped on a BB.
Remember that? I fractured my heel.
And I remember when this happened, I was like, dude, come on. It could not have been a BB. And like, no, man, I perfectly tripped on a BB. Okay, but no,
everything that put me out.
But no, that's good advice. Like, okay, so save the money on, like, you don't have to go with the most high-end airsoft gun. Getting yourself a decent face mask for face protection is going to be like essential. Anything else?
Have fun with it, because a lot of people go into it thinking it's going to be like Call of Duty and they're going to be on this like 9-kill streak. No, you're going to die a lot of times. You're going to be in that dead box half the day. Just be ready.
No, that's fair. Like, when your first time playing, like, do you remember like how well or how badly you did on your first time ever playing?
Oh yeah, it was at Tax City North before they closed, and we were playing a full auto game because this was back when burst nights were a norm.
I forgot this
everyone
was a thing.
Burst. Polar Stars had just hit the market. I'm over here getting lit up every single round because my gun doesn't go that.
Jesus.
Yeah,
no, I forgot burst fire nights were a thing.
That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Definitely not a thing anymore.
Ooh, that was an experience.
Okay, but no, I would have to agree to that. I do think that there are, like, people should have their expectations appropriately set when they first start out. Like, that was something that I had to kind of like learn the hard way, right? Where it's like, all right, first time you go, you're not going to be, you're not going to be Chris Kyle. You're not going to be fucking like John Wick when you first show up on the field. You have to realize that, like, your first time that you're going to go, for the most part, you are going to get shot. You are going to get shot quite a bit.
I think that advice goes a lot more importantly with kids that want to get into it playing the sniper role. Because the sniper role doesn't do very much half the day.
No, yeah, that's another reason why we don't recommend bolt action sniper rifles for players first time in airsoft gun. Granted, could you do it? Yes, absolutely. And if you have the patience for it, bruh, absolutely. Totally, that's freaking cool. But generally speaking, most average players, like on average, do not have a good time when they show up to the field and like their first gun happens to be a bolt action sniper rifle. Like, it's fun, it's cool, but it's not the most effective. And I feel like that also kind of goes hand in hand. You're right with their expectations, because if they go in expecting themselves to get like a bunch of kills and be super cool and be like have it be like Call of Duty, yeah, they're most likely going to be disappointed. But I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Just go out, have fun. Normally, I would add to that actually, and I would say bring your friends, bring your homies, because I don't know about you, and I think you mentioned it before. That's like the best thing about playing airsoft is when you get to airsoft with your homies, especially if you get to work together as a team.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even for indoors where I don't really on the field, I don't have to talk with my team because it's so small. We all know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Hanging out with friends between matches is definitely the highlight of the day. Airsoft is the side thing that you enjoy.
No, I would 100% like attest to that. That is just another activity for you and your homies to go ahead and partake in and have fun and then build memories with. But all right, Sigma, thank you so much for joining me on the live stream. Hopefully I didn't take up too much of your time. I tried to go ahead and cut it short as much as I possibly could, but appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to go ahead and answer some questions. Much appreciated, my guy.
No worries. I can multitask. Laters, guys.
All right.
Love the GI fam.
Have a good one, man. All right, there you go. All right, guys, that was Sigma013. Again, you can go ahead and check him out on Instagram under the exact same name, Sigma013. Very cool guy, awesome employee, loved working with him, even better friend. Make sure to go and check him out, all his content that he posts. Again, a lot of Weep stuff, so if you guys are into anime, really unique, high-end custom builds, make sure to go and check out his content. Very, very cool. But all right, that is the end of that segment. Now, let us move on to the question portion of the live stream. This is going to be the portion where you guys can go and ask me any Airsoft-related questions, or if you want to ask me personal questions, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I'm an open book, so I don't care. Make sure to just let me know that you have a question by putting the letter Q in front of your question in the live chat, not the comment section. I can't see the comment section during the live stream. I can only see the live chat, so make sure you put the letter Q in front of your question. That way I can go ahead and answer it as best as I possibly can. If for whatever reason, I haven't gotten to your question yet, feel free to ask again. However, if I've already answered it, or if at this point you're just spamming the question, that's not going to be tolerated, and you're going to end up being kicked. So do yourself a favor, just don't spam it. We would all appreciate that. And if I don't get to the question, though I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to, make sure to go ahead and DM us, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and I can definitely help you out there as well. All right, so this one comes from Coop303. Actually, let's go back even further. I got a hold of a JG Full Metal MP5 Raz, and then I just sucked with an MP5 instead of spring shotgun, skip forward 17 years, and now I stuck with an LM4D. I mean, like, your whole airsoft career, you're going to accumulate a lot of different stuff in there. Okay, this one comes from Drexen. I still have trouble adapting to indoors because I've always been an outdoor player, especially at my field where it's really competitive. I still find myself playing a bit too casual. Drexen, there's nothing wrong with actually playing casual. Now, if you're trying to go in and be more competitive, I would say just keep at it, man. Like that's that, because I actually had the same problem as well. A lot of the habits that I had built up for years of playing outdoors, whenever I would try to play indoors, it's just a completely different animal. It's a completely different beast, a completely different environment that demands its own respect. It demands its own level of play and mindset when you go in. And I think there is overlap, don't get me wrong, between the two play styles, for sure. Whenever I go to an outdoor field, if there's an indoor portion or like buildings, I will take a lot of the same mentality and lessons that I've learned from an indoor field and apply them there. I literally will go out some days with my team and we'll just practice room clearing, right? Obviously, we're not perfect and we're not the best, but I can definitely say with a lot of practice that we've had, and for me being able to practice at an indoor field and just sticking with it, even if I sucked, there's a lot of things that you will notice are improving when it comes to playing a little bit more aggressively or in an indoor environment. You will start to notice that you are a little bit more aggressive, you're a little more bold, your weapon manipulation has gotten a lot better. Like, even if you're not going to be like fucking John Wick, right? Obviously. Not unless you train like crazy. But even with just a little bit of practice, you'd be surprised how much better and how much improvement you can actually make. All right, now this one comes from Coop303. What high kappa do you recommend for $170? There's actually quite a few high kappas that I can recommend. Brendan actually said it best. Sigma actually mentioned it earlier. One of the better ones that you can honestly get now, one of the better brands that he likes, is going to be the Army Armament. Yeah. It's got to be the Army Armament collection of high kappas, right? And they're 1911s as well, honestly. I'm a huge fan of their stuff. Oops, easy. Actually, plenty of combos for these guys. But let's take a look at one of my favorite ones. The R612, right? The R612, this really nice, compact, high kappa, right? Fully upgradable, full metal construction throughout. Very attainable price point, only $130.99. But there are other models that you can get as well. Say you want to get the R609, right? That's another model that is widely available as well. And that's actually on a shocker deal. That's on a shocker deal right now, meaning it's super discounted, right? These are all going to be 100% TM spec, meaning that you can replace out pretty much everything on here. Now, with that said, I feel like there's a huge misconception. I want to go ahead and clear this up right now. You can have a gun that is TM spec and still requires fitment. Hell, even a lot of aftermarket components fitting onto an original Tokyo Marui high kappa will sometimes still require fitment. So if you ever come across that, be like, oh, I bought one and it didn't drop in. TM spec doesn't automatically mean that everything is going to be drop-in. Not everything's drop-in, even for the original Tokyo Marui brand. So just kind of keep that in mind in case someone tries to back. Because I hate, that's another thing that I actually forgot to mention with Brendan. I genuinely hate it when players dog on or freaking make fun of guys because they don't have you don't have an actual TM. It's like, bro, what the fuck does it matter? First and foremost, I'm out here playing. I'm a member of the community just like you are, right? Second of all, yeah, it may not be a Tokyo Marui, but guess what? This TM that I have is already going to shoot harder. It's already made of full metal. I don't need to spend the extra $130 just on a fucking slide, right? And I can go ahead and put just as many upgrades into this as you can. So really, at the end of the day, I save money and I shop smarter. So who's the bigger fool here, right? At the end of the day, really, I'm sorry, I just really hate when people do that. It really grinds my gears, because at the end of the day, what the fuck what's your deal trying to make fun of someone's setup, right? We're all in this fucking together. We're all in this hobby. We're all players just like everyone else. There's no need to go ahead and just start bashing everyone else. But yeah, back to what I was saying. There's a couple different brands and different models that you can go with. Army Armament was one that I had mentioned, right? There's so many different versions that you can go ahead and get. R608, right? If you want to get like something that looks a little bit more unique, and there's even combos for them as well. It really just ultimately depends on what it is that you like, right? I personally like Army Armament a lot. However, if you want high cap specifically, another brand. I'm trying to spell that out. Trying to spell this out right now. Golden Eagle. Golden Eagle makes some very, very decent quality high caps that you can get for a very, very affordable price. And I mean very affordable. And I do recommend these guys quite a bit, actually, especially at that under 170 price mark. Yeah, you can get yourself something like one of these, right? Right, you can get yourself something like one of this. Very, very affordable at only, discounted right now to 113. That's really fucking good. Discount right now to 113, right? 100% TM compatible. And I know this is because Cisco and I have tested this out, and they work with pretty much everything. Again, maybe some one or two brands you might have to go out and get additional fitment to get to work, but that's like every high cap. Even the original Tokyo Maru, you'd have to do that as well. So, but if you were looking for an affordable gun that was decent out of the box and had a lot of a lot of potential for future upgrades and performance, yeah, I would 100% get behind the Golden Eagles, get behind the Army Armaments as well. If you add more money, I would recommend the Jag Terran Tactical lineup of gas blowback pistols of high caps. Those guys are like the cream of the crop. But again, at that 170 price mark, yeah, Golden Eagle and Army Armament, that's pretty much what you need, man. That's 100% on the money. Okay, here. Xtanata XS. Can I change my gearbox from front wire? Can I change my gearbox front wire to rear wire? Yes, it is possible. You can go ahead and get like a different wire harness, and you should be able to go and do it. Again, some guns might require a little bit more work. Depends on what platform we're talking about, but generally, yeah, you should be able to go ahead and swap out the wiring position from from front wire to rear wire. We've done it before. Okay, this one comes from Willowcat. What very budget site would you recommend for an M4 SPR? I'm planning on getting the MGC4 Mark II, my man, you know what's up, and turning it into an SPR for a slow and stealthier playstyle. That's very interesting, actually, because, again, I normally run, like, again, medium range to close range. I'm not really much of an SPR guy, but I do have a DMR, and if I wanted to keep a budget in mind, I guess it really ultimately depends, but if we're talking about optics, let's see. Let's go on to rifle scopes and see what we can find, right? If we're looking on a very, very budget SPR build. Depends ultimately what you mean also by budget, right? Because, you know, you could have a budget of like, I only have $100. That's a pretty big budget. But, you know, you could honestly opt for something like, okay, very cheap, I know, $37, right? 3 to 9 times, like that actually ain't bad. That is not too bad, honestly. 3 to 9 times magnification, that's going to meet most requirements for sure when it comes to like how far you need to actually see further down range, right? Something like this, $37, that actually ain't too bad. Honestly, you can get that pretty damn cheap. And then I would say maybe just to go ahead and help if you are wearing a bigger set of goggles, or if you have a bulkier set of lower mouth protection or face guard, I would probably say maybe invest in also into like a riser, something to elevate it just slightly. You can save yourself a couple bucks there. Another option, you know, you can also go with, there you go. Yeah. You can also go with one of the like a variable zoom optics, right? 1.5 to 5 times magnification. That's actually pretty good. That's, again, solid. Usually I'm a guy that either goes from 1 times to 4 times. 4 times generally being the most that I ever really need. So being able to go up to 5 times, that's pretty good, right? Something like this, and it's illuminated as well. Very, very handy. $53. That ain't too bad, honestly, all things considered. Bear in mind, anything with magnification generally is going to be a little bit more expensive. But, you know, there are fairly affordable options that you can go ahead and get, right? It just ultimately depends on what budget at the end of the day you are working with, right? I mean, hell, you could even get like one of these guys, right? One of these microscopes right here. 432 AOEG scope, right? It already comes included with the scope rings on there as well. Again, like, it's possible. There are deals that we do have. It's just going to be a matter of like what budget you have ultimately and what you think looks cool. But yeah, I would say any one of those that I mentioned earlier would probably be my favorite. Probably this one, the 1.5 to 5 times magnification variable zoom adjustable illuminated rifle scope. This guy right here, I'd probably recommend this just because, again, it's pretty cheap, all things considered. Okay, let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Make sure I'm missing anything. It's exactly a Staccato XL. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Okay, this one, Coop303 asks, have you ever been to the Grand Canyon? I'm coming back from it. No, actually, Coop. I've actually always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. That would actually be a very, very cool place to visit. That's actually one of the dreams that I have with my fiance. We both really want to go travel to like many, many different places around the world, like U.S. included. There's obviously a bunch of landmarks that we still haven't seen. I'm actually very excited for my fiance. We've actually already made, I think we've pretty much told everyone in our immediate friends group. I am actually set to getting married in about like 2 years. Yeah, like a little under 2 years we're going to get married. We're actually already starting to plan everything out, so very excited for that. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, this one comes from X Tanata X. What is the best upgrade for Glock 17? When it comes to pretty much any airsoft gun, honestly, best upgrade, like we were talking about with Sigma earlier, bucking and inner barrel. That's like the bread and butter, right? You can actually get, let's see, type in unicorn airsoft, right? They actually have hop-up chambers that come included with the inner barrel as well. You get the whole set, right? Get the whole set for $53 for this, right? For example, if you have like the Gen 5 Glock 17 from Elite Force, yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome. It's an improved hop-up chamber. A lot easier to adjust, a lot more solid, and it's not going to like move around as much, because I know with the original hopper chambers, they are prone to like moving just slightly out of place once you set them. These are going to be a lot more stable, which I do really, really like. And their inner barrels are just so good quality. The smoothness on these guys is like fucking ridiculous. Like you can get some great range and accuracy out of these barrels. And of course, they also have outer barrels as well. It just depends on ultimately what you're looking for. And you can get the whole combo itself if you want for like 111, which honestly ain't bad. Realistically, if you're thinking about it, 111 sometimes is the cost of just the outer barrel from some companies, right? Which, I mean, yeah, they're good outer barrels, but at the end of the day, you're not getting the same value that you would with Unicorn. So that's another option that I'd recommend that you pick up if you wanted that, right? But at the end of the day, it's ultimately going to be the inner barrel and bucking. Okay, best internal parts for the LM4 LE. I mean, honestly, just the inner barrel as well. Again, guys, when it comes to like the best, when you ask me like what my the best upgrade is for any airsoft gun, whether it's gas blowback, AEGs, if you're running HPA, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's going to be the same thing when it comes to like the number one thing that I always recommend, and everyone at GI is going to say the exact same thing. Every tech that's been playing for a long time is going to say the exact same thing: inner barrel. Inner barrel, bucking. If it's AEG, right, then obviously swap out the hop-up nub as well if you want to lift heavier BBs. But yeah, that's going to be like the best upgrade that I can go ahead and recommend. Okay, I think I should be caught up. Okay, should be caught up. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the most recent questions. It doesn't help that I'm blind and type on my phone. Oh, man. If you guys haven't already, make sure to go ahead and, Maple Airsoft basically lands tactical in USA, Spectre Arms in Europe. So it's decent. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Let's see. Oh, I want to go and give another shout out. Looks like to Stitch got himself the 5 entries. Ronald got himself the 5 entries. Ernest got himself the 5 entries. And my man Darktree picked himself up 10 entries into the shopping spree giveaway. Guys, you do not want to go ahead and miss your opportunity. We're getting a little more people now getting advantage. But if you notice, a lot of them are regulars, and they're smart. They know that these promos that we got going on are 100% legit, right? These promos have actually won people the shopping spree giveaway. Won them $3,000, and you can be the winner of this $1,800 prize pot, and all you got to do is place your order. All right, want to go ahead and give the boss man another call.
Hey, Isaiah.
Hello.
3 things I would like to cover real quick.
Sure.
Number 1, I'm gonna be sending you new product from KWA.
Okay.
Just right now. It's
You sending it over Skype?
I don't have very clear picture, so you gotta bear with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you. It is KWA, but I don't want to say I'm a little disappointed, but
No, I mean, if you can be real. If you're a little disappointed, you're disappointed.
all right. So the project, the gun name is gonna be M10 and Q10.
M10, Q10. Okay.
Obviously, I do believe those are AEGs.
Okay.
They will come in bundles. It comes with like a gun bag. Okay. M10 is M-Lock, and Q10 is basically a quad.
Oh, quad rail.
Big engine rail.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I meant by a little bit disappointed, because it's, I guess it is KWA, but if you're gonna talk about if it's something super special, probably not.
Okay.
I don't have the price range yet. However, I don't believe it's going to be as expensive as the T10.
Oh, okay. So are these going to be like? I'm looking at them right now. I'm showing off the screen right there. I don't know if you guys can go in and take a look at that. That looks pretty cool. I mean, obviously it's not the best picture in the world, yeah, but it looks pretty cool. Are these going to be like poly builds? Are these going to be full metal?
I'm gonna guess on full metal build.
Full metal builds. Okay. So similar to like the T10.
Not many info yet. They're just sending us that for getting the pre-orders done.
Okay.
You showing it to customers?
Yeah, I'm showing off. Like I'm zooming in right now so they can see.
So you guys are probably the first ever to see it.
Yeah. No, 100%. These guys are gonna be the first ones to actually see this, I believe. That's pretty cool. You know what? I kind of dig the M-Lock one is fine. Do you not like the Picatinny one?
I guess if you want to be retro and don't give a fat fuck about modularity, yeah, there you go.
Hey man, this is modular.
Yeah, to an extent.
It's just thicker. It's just a little thicker, you know.
Yeah. So it should be coming, I would say, before end of the year, Q4 maybe.
Okay.
As you can see, that looks just like that's a metal receiver for sure. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's new. I hope they don't do the T10 ERG internal.
Really? You don't like the T10 internals?
Well, here's the thing. Everyone gripes about, you cannot do, high speed or et cetera modification to the gun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want any of that, don't buy the T10. This might be an alternative. And plus, that M-Lock, it does look a lot more. How should I put this? Not as civilian look.
Okay. You think it looks a little too military or something?
No. It hasn't. Okay, if you don't like that T10 look, get the M10.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Right. So that's coming out. I just got that email like literally 40 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we should be able to put up the pre-order very soon. Number two thing, people were asking about, some people there's a person asked, like, what is Tokyo Marui? So when you guys were talking about, like, high kappa build, I 100% agree with you if you are going to break down the complete gun and rebuild everything. However, if you don't mind, it has plastic, slides and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, plastic components.
And shoot lesser power gas. Marui is the way to go. What I mean by that is, Marui has to build their gun to a certain spec. Okay? Just like how I was telling you, if Marui doesn't have this ASGK thing that they have to obey on, if they say, hey, we want to do a project shooting 500 FPS and with 35 BBs per second, I am pretty sure they can make it.
Oh, no doubt.
They don't even need to make it with like stainless steel gear sets and all that kind of stuff. We've been talking about. This is the reason why I know they can do certain things like that. I hope when you want to build something like an airsoft gun, okay? It's not just let's put like the hardest material or toughest material into a certain part and it will make it good. It doesn't work like that.
No.
especially for GBBs. Their temperature that you need to worry about, and their different material. I mean, material product. When you build something, the material is literally its own science.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fact that Marui AEG can build on those type of material and be that efficient, that says something. So that's why a lot of people are copying off Marui. You understand what I mean?
No,
So
100%. Like I get it, right? At the end of the day, like there's something about the TM stuff, right? Just the Japanese magic that they got, right, to make this like awesome performing gun for what it is, right? And you're right. If you're not going to do anything to it, then yeah, you definitely want to go ahead and go with the TM, right? Because at the end of the day, it is going to be incredibly efficient. My whole thing with Brendan, we were talking, was just like that being the only brand that exists out there. Because a lot of people in the indoor scene, especially, I will say, they do like to have that mentality that the TM is like the only good option that's available. And I like to go ahead and think that, hey, there's plenty of good options that you can get out there that you don't have to spend that much money, and you can still get something that in a lot of ways might actually be better than the TM, right? When it comes to customization, like, yeah, the TM can have it, but it's it's a lot more work to get it to the spec and the standard that we as Americans we typically like.
So how should I put this? Since you're gonna customize something, you don't need to go to the Tokyo Marui route, because you're gonna strip all the magic out of it. You understand what I mean? Also, when we talk about material, there are many different ways to build something. Like, for example, gear sets.
Mm-hmm.
There are many different materials. I'm not so well versed in like internal English term,
sure,
but a lot of because they explain to me all in Chinese. Okay, and the way I want to talk about right here is inner barrel. You guys talked about a lot about inner barrel stuff like that. What could be the first upgrade? If you have any gun, I believe how earlier Brendan was saying, Sigma was saying, get a very good face mask. I 100% agree with you, because you can't really hit what you can't see.
Exactly.
However, if you have the range, another thing is you got to have a range. Airsoft gun is kind of like a sporting equipment. You want to outrange somebody. You want to outreach somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Inner barrel is the way to go. So we're pushing very hard on the unicorn barrel, because as more testing, as more stuff that we understand about the unicorn barrel, you can understand how easily this upgrade can improve your game.
Yeah. It
doesn't even matter if you have a very expensive gun. Put the unicorn barrel in there. It doesn't matter if your gun already has 6.01, 6.03, or whatever. Put the unicorn barrel in there, because unicorn barrel are built differently.
Yeah, they're so smooth.
They're fucking that they're built differently. Even Maple Leaf, they envy about unicorn. You know what makes unicorn so unique? They built Marui guns. They are the OEM for Marui.
Oh, okay.
So they understand how the Japanese do stuff. So it's not just get the highest torque stuff, get the high certain things. Like, for example, I give you guys how you guys were testing out the PP19 today.
Yeah.
It has 13-1 in there, but it doesn't shoot like a 13-1.
No, yeah, like I have 13-1 guns as well, and I mean, granted, I get I think I know what they were trying to go for. They were trying to get a balance of like really high rate of fire, but also giving you a snappier trigger response, a more instantaneous response. But you're right, when we test fired the new Arcturuses, don't get me wrong, guys, the new Arcturuses, they're good, they're really good, they're cool. But the 13-1 gear set, like, we keep coming back to that number, and we shoot it, and it's like it shoots really fast, but it doesn't shoot as fast as what we've seen some other like 13-1 builds get to. Like, definitely not at its full potential.
Right. There's some people talking about. Well, by the way, we will have our brushless motor coming in very, very soon.
Oh,
Like,
sweet. What do we?
the
What,
next week
what,
or
what was
so.
the brand again? What was the brand that we called them?
No, it's not. If you search it, it's out there. Fuck, I forgot the.
Right?
But we'll find out.
Yeah,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll list it out tomorrow. Anyways, any kind of gun, you will gain a lot more with the unicorn barrel and unicorn buckings. Is the way they set that up. Okay, what makes unicorn barrel so special is the way they treat the inside. Like for example, Prometheus barrel.
Mm-hmm.
It's only coated with Teflon. Okay, and I'm gonna send you a graphic right here. See if you can show people.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the picture. Okay. I'm pulling it up right now. Guys, chat, let us know. I'm pretty sure you guys should be able to go ahead and see this. Okay.
You see?
Nitro Teflon,
you see
hardness.
Yeah, natural Teflon, right?
Yeah.
You see the bottom?
Strong hardness.
The surface roughness.
Yep, 0.02.
0.02. So Teflon, it's at 0.2. You see the difference? Okay? Obviously, I cannot show you the Teflon because Teflon is actually another column over it. If I show you that, it's going to be too big because I got this from my phone.
Sure.
You can see that. The smoothness of it, okay? The surface smoothness of it matters, okay? All these people are talking about, expensive barrel, 6.01, 6.02, 6.03. Unicorn isn't expensive, but what makes them special is this coating right here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what makes them special is the way they manufacture it. They utilize what Marui taught them. You understand what I mean? All the AEGs are made from Marui's standard.
Are they still, is Unicorn still the OEM for...
Yeah.
Oh.
They, in Japan, they actually have Marui .3 BBs, and they're all from the same place. And we're talking about making a Mayo Gang .3 BBs. It comes in a Mayo, like a mayonnaise jar.
Huh. Huh.
You're just like, honey, that should be a very good thing. Like,
Yo, yeah, it is. I'm just like surprised.
So anyway, check that graphic out. You can kind of go over it. You can see like what is exactly he's talking about. The plating surface. There's no micro holes. The surface roughness, very, very, very minor. Very, very, very minor. Okay, so Prometheus, I think you're literally paying for the name.
Yeah.
They will come out with a PDI style stainless unicorn barrel.
Okay.
It's gonna be pretty expensive, but it's kind of like, if this is not Gucci enough for you,
Here's this one, yeah.
And other Gucci there's some to it.
Yeah.
All
No,
right, so
I think
remember
honestly,
something,
yeah.
if you have any guns, any kind of gun, doesn't matter if it's $140 Lancer Gen 2 or Spec 9, whatever, cheap, throw the unicorn barrel on it, you're gonna probably outshoot your friend. If you have an expensive gun, throw this onto it too.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all you need.
Yeah. All right. So that should answer the other guy's question about the inner barrel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we answered his question already. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good. Like, I'm sure all this information is readily available as well. Again, we've talked about the unicorn barrels and the unicorn stuff like a lot already in the chat. And honestly, we're gonna keep doing it because at the end of the day, like, one, you're not like, it's not like Prometheus where you're just paying for the name, and the quality alone speaks for itself. I honestly cannot wait until our video, the full length video goes live, where we put the unicorn setup inside the MWS and the MGC4, just to see what a difference it makes. I cannot wait to people's reaction to see that.
Yeah, the smoothness it's so important, not just the bore size. Okay.
Yeah.
We have to remember that.
Of course.
All right, that's it. So the new KW gun, reiterating the unicorn barrel stuff. Why is it? I would say why would I say this is something that it's like an airsoft cheat code. It's a hack.
Yeah.
If you know how to install the barrel, get it done. If you don't know how to do it, we have those P+, and we if you come into the store, we can try to do it for you.
Yeah, no, like it's a very easy upgrade to do. We can do it for you guys, especially if you guys buy it from us. Like, absolutely, we'll go ahead and do the install right then and there.
Yeah. Some people are asking about Taurus PP19 and the LCT PP19's external difference. Since you handle both, you should be able to answer that. All right, I'm going to let you answer that. Thanks, Isaiah.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay, this one comes from Chan Kim asking, what is the external difference Octurnus PP19 and LCT PP19, specifically the handguard? I'm going to be completely honest, when it comes to the handguard material, I don't know what the main differences are, if there even really is one, because the handguards themselves are supposed to be polymer based, so I don't really know if like what their composition's like, how they make their polymer. I don't think there's any too much of a difference. They are both going to be using metal externals on them. But the main difference when it comes to the Octurus and the LCT is very bare bones. The LCT is going to be very bare bones internally, while the Octurus is going to feature a little bit more, right? If we're talking about like the newer up and coming like Octurus, PP19, or even their PP20, right? They are going to be using the programmable PE or Perrin MOSFETs, in addition to the 13-to-1 gear sets. That's going to be very, very cool, right? If you want to go on and set your pre-order for one, by the way, I'm done saying. Forget I said it. But yes, no, the main difference is going to ultimately come down to the internals, right? Oh, want to go ahead and give a shout out. Looks like Brewer got himself those additional 5 entries, and looks like my man Real Wild got himself those additional 5 entries. Real Wild, you trying to go ahead and win again? Brewer, you too. I think you trying to win again, guys. Don't let the mods win, right? They're the only ones that are taking advantage of it. They're the only ones that constantly return back and take advantage of all the promos, because they know that the promos are real, and they have the opportunity to go ahead and win big and get as many entries as possible at winning that $1,800. You can be the next winner as well, and all it takes is one order. Let's go here. Oh yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and just wanted to make sure. Yeah. If you guys are interested in, say, placing your pre-orders for one of the aforementioned new Octurus PP19s, PP20s, even the new AK-12, the PE versions, hit us up on our Discord. Just hit us up on our Discord. We can definitely work something out for you guys. If you guys know, you guys know. But yes, definitely hit us up on Discord. Definitely worth checking out. I highly recommend you do. It's an opportunity you don't want to miss. All right, going up. Let's go ahead and answer some more questions. Okay, this one comes from Aaron Stammer Johan. Best grenade launcher for an SBR. Oh boy, for an SBR build. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't really see too many SBRs specifically rocking like a grenade launcher. I mean, unless you count like a full length M16 as an SBR, maybe. I mean, if you're comparing that to an M4, yeah, like that for a 203. I think I actually. Oh, actually, speaking of which, if you were looking for one, I would actually say maybe take a look also as well as this guy, right? These are the new MGC4 like custom like builds that we've put together. Cisco actually has one, Boaz has one for himself, and even I put one together myself as well. I actually used the double bell M203, and I was actually very happy with it. It's very simplistic. It comes included with the kit needed to mount it onto regular Picatinny, or you can go ahead and just do like the underbarrel and just have it clamp onto the barrel directly of your M4 or your M16. Very, very cool. It actually comes included with one grenade shower shell right out of the box, too. I was very happy with that one. Actually, let's look that up. Double bell grenade launcher. Yeah, actually, one of these on a shocker deal. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of different versions that you can go ahead and get. I think right now that one that I normally have might be... No, that one should work. Yeah, it ultimately depends on which one that you're ultimately looking for. There's a couple different models that we sell. This one, honestly, probably the best deal right now because, again, shocker deal for $97. That's fucking dope. Let's see here. I'm just going to keep scrolling up. Make sure I'm missing anything. Okay, I think we're on to all those. Oh, this one comes from Alex Otero. KWA 2.5 K Titan is with the results. Question number 1: high torque, brushless motor, rocket, Airsoft 13-1 gears, Prometheus. Can this work? I mean, yeah, I don't notice any issues with that. I don't see any issue with that build, Alex Otero. I'm looking at it again. I think it will work fairly well. I think if anything, DM us directly so that we can go ahead and look into that further, just so we can make sure, just so we can run it by like a few extra heads, make sure that's set up. But I'm not seeing any major issues with that setup, with that list of parts that you're listing down. All right, let's go ahead and keep answering some more questions. Mayo BBs, do it. Yeah, Bossman's right. It won't be cheap. It's the only drawback. But honestly, that'd be kind of cool if we could get our own line of BBs. That'd be pretty freaking sweet. Okay, this one comes from Willow Cat as well. How do you feel about suppressors in Airsoft? Suppressors, I think they're cool, right? I think they're very, very cool. And I think it really ultimately depends, too, on like what you're hoping to do with it. I think mock suppressors, if you're going for an aesthetic thing, then sure. Right. I don't really like to put stuff on my guns too much that are just for aesthetic. I do want them to have at least somewhat of a purpose. So mock suppressors, I don't really necessarily like too much. I do really dig though whenever I see builds that are using a much longer inner barrel, but they're being hidden by the use of a mock suppressor. I think that's really, really cool. I also really dig mock tracer units that are meant to look like mock suppressors too. I think those are really, really cool, right? Especially when you put them on like a rifle. I think it looks sick. Right? But overall, I'm kind of indifferent on it. It really depends on the build. Sometimes just a simple bird cage is what I'll run on my guns, right? If I feel like being plain Jane. All right. Outside of Airsofting, Jed Ripley. First and foremost, please, if you can, try not to mention other stores. However, I always have been a big fan of GI. I've always been a big fan of GI ever since I was growing up, right? GI was at the forefront when it came to their marketing, right? They definitely made Airsoft seem cool to just someone that didn't know any better, right? And it really helped get a lot of people into it. And I like to think that as of right now, and I think I can honestly say the hard work that both Cisco, myself, Boaz, and Kevin, and Bossman, and everyone at GI really puts in, we really do try our best to make sure that all the knowledge about Airsoft as a whole, right, that we are transparent with everything, right, but that we put a lot of this information out there for you guys. We really try our best to make sure that all that information is available readily for you guys, so that it's a lot easier and more accessible to get into it. This is from an outsider stepping in, right, too. If I take myself out of my own biasness and I'm looking objectively at how much information that every single store or Airsoft business discloses, I'll be honest, no other store really discloses as much information as we do. You can ask any one of the members of the Mayo Gang, especially some of the mods that we've worked with, they're generally genuinely surprised at how much shit that we actually let them know ahead of time. Hey, this new, Bossman himself did it, right? He'll show off guns in stream, right? No other store really does that. We're the only guys that are willing to show off new products, show what goes on the development side of making an airsoft gun, right? You guys were there, all of our longtime viewers, you guys were there watching us, from the get-go designing the Mayo Gang MGC4 lines, right? With the Mark 1, the Mark 2, and even now the Mark 3, right? We're going to be completely transparent with how we're doing it. We've said it before that we're possibly thinking about doing another CQB build, right? Very similar to the Mark 1, but with a different rail setup. That's definitely something that we've mentioned, and we're going to keep talking about it. When it comes to Unicorn, right? We're talking about their inner barrels and all the parts that they offer, the reason why that they're so good, right? They're the OEM for TM. They're the OEM for TM. They know exactly how the manufacturing side works, how to get very high quality products that perform very consistently, right, and efficiently. That's something that you don't really see that other stores really go that much into detail. A lot of times when I look at other places, they're just very much okay, buy this gun, it's cool, right? Use my coupon code and you'll get this discount off here, which I get it. I don't blame the content creators. But at the end of the day, I do feel it's up to really all of us to make sure that the information is accessible to the everyday player. And obviously even the guys that we hire, right? Like Brendan, right? Sigma, we wouldn't have hired him if he didn't have the same goal in mind, which was to help as many people as he possibly could get into the hobby, right? And that's sort of the biggest thing. So obviously outside of us just having the best deals, period, because objectively we just do, it's going to be a matter of who is really putting the effort out there to really help and strengthen the Airsoft community. And I'm going to be honest, I think we honestly have the best community. You guys, the Mayo Gang, I think you are literally the best community that any Airsoft company could ever ask for. And I do mean that. Obviously, yes, we are a smaller company, right? And so we're not going to be perfect on every single front, but we try our damnedest to go ahead and make sure that we do our best when it comes to everything from the guns that we design, everything from how we deal with our customers, right? I want to make sure that we address everyone and everything, and we get everyone taken care of, and then we help out as many people and get as many people into this hobby and keep them there for as long as we possibly can, so everyone's having a good time, right? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see any other stores doing that. All right, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and ask another question. Coop303 asks, are these good Lancer Tactical Aero Protective black airsoft goggles, clear lens? Yeah, I like the arrows. There ain't nothing wrong with them. There are many different options when it comes to eye protection. But the arrows, yeah, I ain't got no problems with them. They don't fog very easily. Actually, that's pretty good, honestly. That's one thing that I'm always very impressed with. Whenever you can get goggles that don't fog that as well, or don't fog as easily, right? Because that was a big problem way back in the day when it came to a lot of different companies' goggles. Aaron Stammer Johan, will the Mayo BBs come with Mayo packets? Actually, that'd be kind of dope. Like kind of like little more, little like little like baggies of like those weird little like pellets you get inside like airsoft packaging. That'd be cool if we had one of those. But it was like labeled as like a Mayo like packet. Ooh, it'd be gross. Okay, let's see here. I want my Mayo BBs, Dark Tree. Wow, you really want those BBs, huh? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and answer some more questions. Aaron's still Stammerhead. Are you sick of me asking about Mayo packets yet? No, dude. No, I'm not. Trust me. At the end of the day, too, we're also like I also do these streams because I want to have like a good time, right? And I actually genuinely enjoy hanging out with you guys and doing these live streams. It's super fun for me. Like again, like I mentioned it before, like in person. Like if you just completely met me, right, like off the street, like outside of work, I'm actually generally a quieter person. I don't really speak as much. I'm not a very loud person. Bossman always says I'm like on the quieter side when it comes to like, or I'm a little too soft spoken sometimes in a loud room. But when it comes to like the streams, for whatever reason, I'm like strangely comfortable talking in front of you guys. Don't know why. I genuinely don't know what's going on. But I do enjoy these streams. So even if you ask me like ridiculous questions, like trust me, dude, honestly, I don't mind. I really don't. At the end of the day. Let's see, Aaron said, over the years talking to you, I've always been treated well. The staff has always been nice and curious, and the selection is great. Much appreciated, Aaron. No, I really appreciate that. That means the world. That honestly alone makes my day. If I know that at the very least I helped out one guy, or like one guy was super appreciative of the work that we put in, that makes it worth it. No matter how many, because I'll be honest, yes, at some point or another, because this goes for any retail, right? You work in any retail chain, or if you guys know, right? Any of you guys that work retail in the past or currently, or if you guys have to deal with like customers, at some point or another, you are going to encounter Karens, right? That's just always going to be a thing. You're always going to encounter someone that's just a little mean to you for no real particular reason. They're just having a bad day, so they want to take it out on you, right? No matter how much I may or may not deal with that, if I get like a comment like that, or just someone saying like, hey, I really appreciate you guys doing this, like that alone fucking makes it worth it. I will happily go into work the very next day with a smile on my face, knowing that I made someone's day, right? That is all I care about. That's all I give a fuck about. See here, make sure I'm not missing anything. I definitely learned so much from watching all these GI vids over the years. Yeah, Drexen, that's honestly all we try to do, man. If we can put this information out there and keep people like invested in the hobby and like, okay, what do I do if my gun breaks, right? All right, how do I go about fixing it? If we can do that, great, dude. That's mission accomplished. All right. And if you guys haven't already, yeah, make sure to go ahead and give this live stream a thumbs up. I haven't mentioned it as much. Make sure to go ahead and give this live stream a thumbs up, and make sure to go ahead and share this around. We're down to like the last, what is that, fucking 17 minutes? Yeah, 17 minutes of the live stream. So if you guys have any at all airsoft questions, or if you know anyone that wants to get into airsoft but not really too sure where to begin, send them our way. We can definitely help them out. I will be trying to answering as many questions as I can. Even until like the very last minute, I will try to be answering as many questions as I possibly can. All right, let's go down to the most recent ones. I found that there's two stores. I can never be upset. In ASGI and Bass Pro Shops. We're hanging out with the greats. We're hanging out with the best of them. Honestly, okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never stepped inside of a Bass Pro Shops for more than like maybe the first couple of feet in. I've actually never truly been. I've seen a bunch of videos of like people going in like streams, right? Or people just doing like vlogs inside a Bass Pro Shop. I've always wanted to go inside like one of the big ones, like one of the really, really big ones. I really want to go. I've never been to one. I thought it'd be super cool. I need to get one too because I need to buy an actual gun. Maybe I shouldn't talk about firearms on this Airsoft stream. Maybe. But I do need to actually pick up one as well. Okay, here's a question. This one comes from Oh gosh, I'm so sorry if I mess up your name. Arias? Why is mesh mask not an issue? Because you can still have fragmentation, so wouldn't the paintball mask be better that way? It also depends. Like fragmentation usually happens. Arias, I'm sorry if I mess up your name. That usually only happens if you're typically like really close. I haven't had any issues or know anyone that's had any issues of fragmentation when you are shooting within the chrono range, right? Obviously, if you're shooting within the joule limits as well and the FPS limits. If you're shooting at like the appropriate range, you shouldn't be having fragmentation. Now, obviously, if you're point blank, I could probably see that, right? But that's why usually a lot of outdoor fields will have a minimum engagement distance, right? And even then, fragmentation isn't like always going to be 100% consistently happening either, right? Most of the time, it's going to bounce off, but you might get that one that does fragment off, right? But I guess the risk is so low, or the possibility or the probability of that happening is very, very low. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You could very well go with a paintball mask. However, I would argue though that the paintball masks sometimes will have like the slits on there as well for breathability. You could very well get fragmentation there. I have seen that happen again, like once in like I don't know how many years, 13, 14 years that I've been playing. I think I've seen it once happen, right? But even then, like it's not something that you normally would have to worry about too much at the end of the day, right? But yeah, that's another option as well. I think the reason why I prefer, in general, mesh mask over a full paintball mask for me is because I feel like with a full paintball mask like a dye, even though it's great that they don't fog, it still feels very hot and stuffy inside the mask. Versus, yeah, a mesh mask and like goggles are still going to be a little stuffy, but I feel like it's worse with a paintball mask. But again, you do get with like high-end brands like Dye, Empire, right? You are going to be getting that almost guarantee of never fogging, right? So there is that pro and that con as well. But personally, I think for me, just being able to use low profile eye protection and like a simple mesh mask or something even smaller than that, right? Like a mesh guard works great for my purposes because I'm able to properly use my optics. I don't have to struggle with getting a nice cheek rest. For me, it just works that way. But good question. This one comes from Jed Rippey, M4 or AK-47-74. Between the two, it really depends, right? For me, aesthetic-wise, I'm an AK-47 guy, right? I love a good classic AK, right? Something about like an AKM, an AK-47, AKMS, right? With the underfolding stock, just beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful. Hell, even like the 74Us. I actually really like 74Us. But in general, I think like the M4 and the AR platform is better suited for most players' individual needs, especially when they're first starting out, because how versatile, how modular the system is. And not that the AK platform doesn't have its modularity or doesn't have its customization options. Of course it does, right? Just like any other platform. But if you're talking about comparatively, nah. Like it doesn't even hold a candle really at the end of the day compared to the M4. Now, granted, if you don't care about that and you want to stick with basically these stock externals, right? Like if you say rock a classic 47 or an AKM or AK-74 and it's got the classic furniture on there that you don't want to swap out, yeah, don't swap it out. You don't need anything else at that point. Some would even argue that the gearboxes that you get, like the version 3 gearbox, is more durable than the version 2. I don't know if really there's any claim to that, but I've heard it before, and I think even Bossman was mentioning that as well at some point. But I actually genuinely like AKs, right? I think AKs are really, really cool. And I think that the advancements in AKs have gone a long way, right? Rotary style hopper chambers in AKs, for me, I know I'm a bit of a caveman, but like that's fucking rocket science to me, man. That's like, what? That's insane. But yeah, it ultimately depends on what you're going for. I have my collection of M4s, and I think my M4s are really cool. But there's just something about a classic AK that, like, it doesn't matter how Gucci'd out my M4 is. There's just something about a bone stock external AK-47 or an AKM that keeps pulling me back, man. Like, and I just want to pick one up and I want to shoot one into the ground and just yell, Wolverines, right? There's just something about it. All right, this one comes from Willowcat. Favorite camo for outdoor play / milsims. So Willowcat camos are going to be very much like the way I view like weapons itself, right? There is no one or the other, but it is ultimately going the best or better one. It's really going to be a matter of like what your environment is and what your purposes are, right? And what you intend to do. Now, generally, when it comes to like a go-to camouflage that's going to work for most situations, typically, the correct answer would be something like multicam or what is it, UCP, if I'm not mistaken, or is it OCP? Is it OCP? Might be OCP. Scorpion, right, as the Army designates it, like that sort of camo pattern, right? This guy. Is that? No. You just type in Actually, no, it's one word. Cam. Do 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 do. Yep, there you go. Right, this sort of pattern here, this multicam, like that's just a very, very solid, like really solid camouflage pattern, right? It's cool. A little vest ornament, that's funny. Like that's just a cool solid pattern, right, that you can go with. It can't go wrong. It works great even in like this more arid environment. There are many versions of multicam, including multicam arid, multicam tropic, multicam black, right? That's another one that I think has looked really cool. But just a stock like standard default multicam is actually pretty good. It's a solid camouflage pattern that works very well, even in the dirt environment or in like an arid environment. It just works overall. Like I got no issue with it. It works in a variety with 10 to 10 multi-camo, right? Like multiple camo. It works great, right? Now, if you're asking me my personal favorite that I think looks the coolest, I've actually always been a very big fan of like the M81, the classic woodland here, like woodland. Like classic woodland, like M81 woodland is always been like a very, very big like camo that I've really appreciated, right? Obviously this is like, just the body armor itself. It's very bright. It's not normally as bright as this, but still just, you get the idea, right? That sort of classic, like what you would normally associate with like, oh yeah, military camo, right? That like old school like M81. It's still, here's the thing, it's still in limited like use. It's still being used today, right? It still has its place. I think in a woodland environment, it looks very, very cool, right? And it is still very effective. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, woodland can actually trace its history even all the way back to like, to ERDL, which I believe that in itself can trace its way back to Rhodesian brushstroke camo. Brushstroke camo is very, very effective to the point where the U.S. military like actually looked at what Rhodesia was using and considered that actually being their official camouflage after a while, especially in the Marine Corps. But I think for whatever reason it just didn't pass through, but they loved it so much that eventually they came out to ERDL, and then that also ended up turning into woodland. So I think ultimately it comes down to like a woodland, maybe like a Rhodesian brushstroke camo. That's probably like my favorite. But it's such a rare camo to find exact brushstroke. I do have it, but again, I had to search for that shit. Okay, let's scroll down. Oh, so you got another thing here. I want to go and give another shout out to, looks like D'Angelo got themselves the additional 5 entries into the shopping spree giveaway. Guys, remember, the live stream is going to be ending in about 8 minutes. You only have 8 minutes to take advantage of all these promos going on right now. Remember, order yourself a Bigger Wins YouTube unboxing mystery box for $220. You automatically qualify for free shipping, guaranteed higher retail value than what you pay for, and we grant requests. We grant your guys' wishes. So if you guys want something specific out of the mystery box, let us know. We very well might be able to go ahead and get you something very close to it, if not getting you the exact thing. Just let us know what it is that you are looking for, right? And again, you order this right now, you're going to be getting 10 entries into the shopping spree giveaway. However, you can also just order yourself any airsoft gun right now. That's $100 or more, and you'll be getting 10 entries into the shopping spree giveaway as well. That's another way to increase your odds immensely. Not too many people have taken advantage of this one, only a few. However, if you want to go ahead and get 5 entries in the shopping spree giveaway, get yourself a $50 order, whether it's in a collection of BBs, green gas, batteries, chargers, whatever it may be. Get yourself something like one of this, like just, again, BBs and green gas, if that's it, or even a gift card, a $50 gift card, right? And you'll be getting 5 entries into the giveaway. Don't miss out. All right, let's see here. What gloves do you recommend for airsoft? This comes from Coop303. Whatever's comfortable. Honestly, like I've gone with like Lancer Tactical brand gloves. Those work fine. I've used other brands as well. But honestly, I think my favorites probably come down to like mechanics. Gloves are very much like more of like just, okay, do they protect my fingers? All right, that's it, right? And then from there, I kind of determine what color I want. But ultimately, mechanics, Lancers, and even some older Condor Condor gloves, those will work just fine, honestly. My whole thing is, as long as your whole finger is covered, the only modification I do to my gloves, I will typically cut off the index finger and the thumb, and that's it. I don't do the whole thing. I don't like that. The only reason I do it for the trigger finger and my thumb is because I like to be able to be a little bit more, dexterous with my hands, because I need to be able to pick up like smaller pieces, right, of like whether it's a part, right, if I'm doing tech work or something. on the field, or if I have to work with like a BB or something. I want my index finger and my thumbs to be free, but that's the only thing I'll do. Every other finger I'll leave on because I hate getting shot right here in these 3 fingers. That's the worst when you get shot there. So as long as they're covered, that's pretty much all you need. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice gun, but the engravings add no tactical advantage. Aaron Stammer Johan, a man of culture, I see. Jed, yes, I have ran my decked out M4 and then just a standard AK-47. Gotta love the AK. That's what I'm saying, man. Again, something about just a stock plain AK, just running it plain is a vibe. 100%, it's a vibe, bro. DJ, got my Z furniture in from GI today and I added to a whole level to my LT 105. Hey, man, post pic in Discord later. Hey, DJ, I got to see that. I actually, that is one thing I will say. Like the Z furniture stuff, I know a lot of people are doing it right now, but hey, man, I know some people have actually told me like, oh, it's overplayed. I don't give a fuck. It looks cool, man. It looks absolutely cool. Z furniture looks cool. It's not my aesthetic because, again, I like just plain, but if I had to pick modern furniture, I would go with the Z style stuff. Aaron Sandberg, this is 100% because I'm an First of all, you're not an idiot, Aaron. But I was just there a month ago, and I had no idea there was a fish tank. Yeah, there's a fish tank. It's kind of funny. Like, we have so many fish tanks in there. You made the name sound so much cooler. Was going for Ares like God of War. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry, dude. Let's see here. Yeah, DJ says Boaz's MGC4 Mark II build looks hella Gucci, but then again, so do all 4 of them. Field ready combos. Yeah, man, and any one of them, you're going to be absolutely happy with what you get, right? Sure, I'm not missing anything. Okay. Jason, crazy. Is that a booger hanging out of your nose? You're just shadow. I'm pretty sure it's just my shadow. Yeah, pretty sure it's just my shadow. Thank you though for calling me out. Just in case, I would hate to have gone the whole stream with fucking boogies sticking out of my nose. Okay, this one comes from DJ. What other company knows you by your real name, YouTube, Discord handle, and treat you other than an order number? Yeah, that's true. I actually have been on the receiving end of that, where I used to go to other stores as well, like before working at GI, just because I used to shop around everywhere all at the time, and I used to browse around a lot, and I definitely felt like a number at a lot of places. Definitely felt like I was literally just another number, and they just didn't really care. They didn't give a fuck about me. Unless I was, like, spending a ton of money. Let's go down here. Willowcat. Airsoft needs more gun variety. I want the Vepr 30-06 turned into an airsoft gun so bad. Some AK variants are real sexy. Willowcat, I honestly couldn't agree more. I actually genuinely enjoy seeing a much bigger variety in Airsoft. And apparently back in the day, even when as far back as I can remember too, there actually was a little bit of variety that, especially more, I would say comparatively a lot more to what's available now. At the end of the day though, and I've mentioned this on other streams, we mentioned this on podcasts, at the end of the day, it's ultimately going to come down to money. Sales, right? What's going to move? Because a company could theoretically come out with pretty much any gun, right? If a gun exists out there, then yeah, they could definitely make an airsoft replica of it, right? Some way, shape, or form, right? But the problem is going to come down to who would buy it, right? Who would buy these more niche-looking guns or these more unique-looking stuff, right? Like, for example, I love P90s. I love FALs, right? The FAL is probably my favorite rifle platform, if I'm being completely honest. It is, right? There's something about it, the history behind it, it's just got a cool vibe to it. But at the end of the day, they don't move. As much as I try to push them and try to encourage people, hey, this is a really cool platform, at the end of the day, it's not a platform that's going to move as fast as like your standard AR, your M4, your M16, or even an AK, right? It's just not going to move as much as they are, right? The market speaks, right? The market speaks volumes as to what companies should be making, right? At the end of the day, if they're going to go ahead and like make an airsoft gun, right, especially if it's a newer company, right, for example, and they want something for sure that's going to sell, they're going to stick with a platform that they know is going to move in quantities, right, and that they can actually move quickly, which is going to be an M4, an AR-15. Again, and this is coming from a guy that likes to collect. I will play with an L85. I'll play with my like FALs. I'll play because I do have several of them. I'll play with a P90, right? I don't care. I'll play with everything, right? I don't care what it is. I will play with it because I like unique stuff in airsoft, right? I like stuff that has history behind it as well. That's like, I like thinking of myself as like the historian Milsimer, right? That's like I'm Ian McCullen from Forgotten Weapons if he was really into airsoft, like really into airsoft. That's who I am, right? Okay, let's see here. I too like finger free Brewer hashtag finger gang. Hell yeah, man. I too like finger freedom. This is gonna be taken out of context real bad. Aaron Stammerjahan, how do I get my hair to do the thing yours does? What thing? I hate my hair, man. It's not curly, it's not straight, it's freaking ugly, man. I freaking hate my hair. Let's see, answer more questions. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, looks like it was 1 second, 1 second. Want to go ahead and give another shout out, looks like, to James Park. He got himself additional entries as well. Make sure you got the 5 entries. That's right. He's right before the ended, because then right now it is 9:30. That is it. That is the end of the No Flightless live stream. Guys, thank you for everyone that tuned in to the live stream. It means the world to me that you guys ultimately chose to spend your free time hanging out with me, with the Mayo Gang, with Bossman himself. Again, it just means the world to us that you decide to go ahead and spend your free time hanging out with the rest of us here at the Mayo Gang. I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to my buddy Brendan Sigma013. I'm not sure. I think he's not watching anymore, but just in case he is, thank you, bro, for tuning in and helping me with the interview portion of the stream. It was very, very fun. I always enjoy when I'm able to get a guest on. Always makes it way more entertaining for me, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think as well in the comment section or in the live chat. But again, guys, I want to go ahead and thank everyone that tuned in. I had a blast. Hopefully you guys found me entertaining this time around. But again, the promos, at least the bigger wins, that one still stands. The other two are over right now. So remember, pick yourself up a bigger wins you do unboxing mystery box. Free shipping, $220, higher retail value than what you actually pay for, and we grant requests and bonus raffles too. Again, make sure that you place your orders for this as soon as you possibly can, because the shopping spree giveaway is fast approaching. It's going to be this Thursday, so you don't want to miss out. Also, guys, if you want to go ahead and shop for any of your Airsoft goodies, make sure to go ahead and get them at Airsoft GI. That is the best and most direct way to support the channel. You don't want to go ahead and miss your chance to go ahead and win the shopping spree giveaway, because we're the only Airsoft retailer that rewards your $20 plus order with a chance to win $1,800. Don't miss your chance. Again, want to go ahead and give everyone a thanks. Even if you were a first-time viewer, thank you. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. It means the world to me if you go ahead and like the live stream. Go ahead and share it around. Go ahead and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon. That way you guys can know exactly when the next video drops.